particular video, I'm going to be telling you what you can get with that 50 million naira, or paint a picture of what that 50 million naira cannot afford. And secondly, we're going to be looking at what that 50 million can now afford. What can you get with that 50 million naira? We're also going to be looking at that. And lastly, I'm going to be educating you about how to know what that 50 million naira on the average of 50 million naira can get for you as a house in Abuja. And that part of the conversation, we're going to be teaching you how to fish. In other words, you're rightly empowered, you're rightly informed about investing or buying a house or owning a home here in the beautiful city of Abuja, which is clearly a very desirable city to live in right now in Nigeria. So in my opinion, make sure you watch this video to the very end before you make any move on buying any house or owning any house here in Abuja, particularly if your budget range is around 50 million naira. This video is brought to you by Fortreal Rei Ltd, real estate company right here in the city of Abuja, and we bring you the very best of real estate investment here in Nigeria. Yes, my name is Raymond Ijeomah, and I am the lawyer that loves real estate, or if you like, the real estate entrepreneur as law as a tool in the best interest of my client. So let's get started into the conversation. What can't that 50 million get, or that 50 million naira, what can it not get for you? First, it cannot get you a house around, say, 15 to 20 minutes drive to the Abuja city center. I know it is everybody's desire, as it were, to own a house almost close to the Aso Rock. That is a lot of person's desire. But why that can be a desire, it is a welcome development. But for the purpose of what real estate is in Abuja and the level real estate has gotten to in Abuja, 50 million naira cannot get you a house, say, around 15 to 20 minutes to the city center, right? And then secondly, a house that is along a tarred road or very, very accessible within that same time range. A 50 million naira budget cannot get you a house like that. And then also you need a house that is up to 400 square meter size with an area, built up area of around, say, 300 square meters. A 50 million naira budget cannot get you that. And then, a finished duplex inside a very fine estate in Abuja. Abuja is dominated by a lot of estates, and a lot of clients actually want to live in those estates. But 50 million naira cannot get you a house in those kind of estate or that kind of estate. So we're done with that part. All right. Now, what can that 50 million naira budget range get for you? In my opinion, based on experience, and haven't done this for years, if you want to get, or if you have a budget range of 50 million naira, it is best you go for an off-plan project. And we have a lot of them scattered around Abuja, right? You go for an off-plan project, and more specifically, in my opinion, based on that same 50 million naira budget, you most likely will be going for an apartment, right? Some could fall within the range of, say, a block of flats. Some others can be serviced apartments that are not the normal kind of blocks of flats. Or if you actually prefer a duplex, then you may have to look at some developing part, maybe not quite habitable yet, but some developing part. The least terrace, 4-bedroom terrace duplex in a very good location that we have had was at 65 million. When it started, the project started at, say, around 50 million. Right, but by the time it was sold and ready to be delivered, it was 75 million, right? So if you're looking at something like that, you may have to go for an off-plan project, and right in the very beginning of the project. If it's later in between the project, that 50 million naira may not afford it. And respectfully, I would encourage you to not desire a location that, I mean, it's okay. Like I said in the beginning, it's okay to desire that kind of location, but you have to look at what your funds can afford, right? So if it's outside of the city center, then it's okay to start from there, particularly say within the phase 5 or some part of the phase 4 of Abuja. I believe a 50 million naira can get you, or the budget range of 50 million naira can get you a terrace duplex. But if it is anywhere in the developing phases and some part of the phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. Even the phase 5 has some parts where you cannot get a 50 million naira apartment, right? But on a general note, that apartment or the off-plan project may be your best shot, or is your best shot at getting any house in Abuja, right? So again, let me emphasize it. Let it be an off-plan project. In my opinion, if you have a 15 million naira budget, say an apartment. If you want a terrace duplex, a detached duplex, I doubt. A detached duplex, I doubt, except far away from the city center, right? And I think, in my opinion, because of the way Abuja road network is designed, I don't think there's technically anywhere that is really far to the city center in Abuja. It's my opinion, right? Particularly if we want to compare it to some other cities in Nigeria, right? So I think this is what 50 million naira can get for you. And then now, how do you know what 50 million naira can get? Assuming you don't want to, you just want to have an idea. You want to be able to understand how this works, right? This part of this conversation is going to help you. Now, how do you know what 50 million naira can get for you? The first question you should be asking yourself is, where is this house in question? Where is this house in question? What location is it in Abuja? Now, I mean, we've said this. Let me add that we have another video where we talked about what 5 million naira can get for you as a land in Abuja. If you're interested in investing in land, what 5 million can get for you, right? So you can check out that video because it's a very important one. Now, for the back to the 50 million naira house, right? You have to be asking yourself a question of, where is this house, the location? And I was about saying that Abuja is in 5 phases of development. And as a city of 5 phases of development, if you want the phase 1, let me give you an example of some locations. Well, the top 3 locations in the phase 1, you have Asokoro, you have Maitama, you have Gariki, and a number of other locations. So if you're looking at that location, then be rest assured that 50 million naira cannot get you anything there, right? In fact, some of these places are places where some houses go on the rental, right? Rental value of, say, up to 40, 30 million per annum, right? So imagine going somewhere that they're renting houses on the average of 20, 30 million per annum, some types of houses, particularly duplexes, and you were expecting to buy a house in that same location at 50 million. That doesn't make any sense. So that will not work, right? So you have to be able to ask yourself, what phase of development is this particular house? Let's step away from there. Number 2, how accessible is this particular property? How accessible is this particular house? Is it in front of a tarred road? I mean, everybody wants to have a house in front of a tarred road. Everybody wants to have a house in front of a tarred road. But based on your budget, okay, let me say based on our budget. Based on our budget, I don't think that 15 million naira can get you something inaccessible with tarred roads and very good road connections. Now, there's a difference between when I say good road connections or when I say quite accessible. I am saying that it is right there where people are living in already and in very good locations, right? Abuja largely, anywhere in Abuja is largely accessible because of the way the master plan is designed, right? But beyond that, if we're looking at that accessible tarred road kind of picture or imagination, then 50 million naira cannot do that. Then the next part is, what is the size of this property? What is the size of this property? Now, I already mentioned that some places want big houses, quite spacious and all of that. If you want that, if that is your picture, then 50 million naira may not be able to get that for you. So you have to be able to ask yourself, what is the size of this particular property that we are talking about? And then the very important one is, what type of house are we looking at? What type of house are we looking at? And there are different types, right? We have terrace duplexes. We have, of course, let me start with apartment. We have apartment. We have an apartment range from 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, right? We have terrace duplexes, right? Those buildings that are attached to each other. We have terrace duplexes. We have semi-detached duplexes, and we have duplexes, detached duplexes, or standalone duplexes, as it were, mansions, penthouses, different types, right? So this time around, your question should be, what type of house am I expecting to get? So based on some of the explanations I'd given earlier, or some of the locations I mentioned earlier, there are certain places that we are 100% sure that you cannot get a 50 million naira duplex there. It is not possible, except maybe somebody just wants to give to you that house, which is very rare. Very, very rare. Okay, let me skip away from that. But it is very rare for you to have somebody give you a 50 million naira house in the phase 1 of Abuja. Phase 2 of Abuja. Okay, let me leave the phases, but I just want to be able to, so that I don't establish a general or strict principle or strategy around this conversation. I just want to be able to guide you so that you know what is safe, what is possible, and what is not possible. So ask yourself a question of what type of house are we expecting, or what type of is it terrace duplex, is it detached duplex, is it semi-detached, and all of that. That will help you determine to know whether this my 50 million or our 15 million naira budget can work or not. Now, the whole idea of this conversation is just to be able to educate you, inform you, so that you know how this thing works. How, because a lot of you reach out and you want the best locations, and the budget range is, say, 50 million naira. And let me add as a caveat, it's quite important. This video was not targeted at any client. Over time, we've had clients who are reaching out with that budget range, but we just wanted to do this video to educate everybody so that we all understand. It is okay for you not to patronize us as a company, right? But this knowledge helps you if you want to patronize another company or another broker or any other company within the real estate sector here in Nigeria. So this is not selfish. This is just giving you general education so that everybody is safe, so that you don't fall into the wrong broker or the hand of the wrong broker who tells you that 15 million naira can get this for you here. And because you are very desirous of getting that house in that location, you end up getting a house that somebody already owns, or somebody or that is within the EFCC custody for investigation, or you get into trouble generally, right? So that's why we are sharing all of this. This is selflessly giving you information so that would empower you, helping you make the right decisions as you choose to invest in real estate here in Abuja. So yeah, my name is Raymond Ijeomah, and I am the lawyer that loves real estate, or if you like, the real estate entrepreneur that uses law as a tool in the best interest of my clients. And yes, this video was brought to you by Fortreal Rei Ltd, a real estate company right here in the city of Abuja, and together we bring you the very best of real estate here in this city. And we actually don't just share those beautiful investment opportunities with you that can help you build sustainable wealth. We also educate you so that you know how to safely and rightly invest in this beautiful city, just like we just did. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment, and the numbers to reach out to are right on your screen. Enjoy the rest of your day and look forward to our next amazing video. Bye-bye.